live stream. This is Rager Crypto. I am Josh Rager, and welcome everybody. So, with that said, this is a last minute live stream. I don't even know if there's going to be very many people on this today, and that's totally fine. I'm not really worried about it. I've actually not been on very much this week, and really funny story to tell you that I'll tell you in a minute. But really, what I want to break down today is I want to break down Bitcoin. What's going on? Stock market's at all-time high. Bitcoin 110. What's going on? So let's go ahead and take a look at that here in a second. There's also a 99% chance that something happens now. We'll talk about that. You may already know. If you don't know, keep watching. But again, nothing is financial advice. This is the live stream. I want to do another one this week so we can give away some Bitcoin with that said. So let's go ahead. Funny story, by the way. It is my wife's birthday, so I've been gone all day. I haven't not looked at the markets until I got home the last hour or so, and I saw that stocks hit an all-time high. And I'm not really doing a ton of trading right now because if you've watched me, I've told you that the crypto market has to prove itself. It has to show that it has some strength. It's not doing that right now, what we're going to talk about. But this week, craziest story, if any of you have a garage, that you're watching, and just know that you should never have birdseed and leave it in your garage open, because what that does is it attracts bugs, specifically moths in MOTH, moth, flying, but they're like butterflies, right? And so what happens is that can actually lead for those bugs to get in your garage, and then they can just multiply like crazy. So this entire week, like for 3 straight days, I haven't really been on the markets that much because I had to clean my garage from all these bugs that got in that were drawn in from this bird seed that got left in. It was disgusting, a long story. It's totally clean now, but you never, ever leave open bird seed in your garage or your house because that will attract rodents in bugs. And anyway, it's all good now, but lesson learned, never do that again. And that's where I've been the first half of the week, and then school started for my kids, and then my wife's birthday. And so really busy week, but I'm back on tomorrow, and then starting next week we'll keep rolling because we got a lot of big things ahead of us here in the next couple of months. So welcome everybody, you guys, good to see you. Thanks for coming to the live stream. So Bitcoin, hey, sideways, okay, right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is the daily chart, the daily candle, and really it's so clear. This is such a clear chart, regardless of if you know anything about charts, just with the levels that have presented in the range and stuff that we've marked out here. And so really breaking it down, if you look at the daily chart, we set a local low at 107, but the problem is with that and the 4-hour chart, I mean, you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. Bitcoin just isn't able just to break a higher high on this trend. It's a downtrend right now, okay, on both ways. So, with that, you want to go ahead, look at the intraday chart. And the good news is, right, we're slowly building up here on the intraday chart. Let me go ahead and move that out of the way. We're slowly building up here, and what we're trying to do for the Bitcoin price is we're trying to break back up here, break above 112, and then I really want to see it break above on the 4-hour above 113, 100 or so, okay? And so where you start uptrends at is you actually start uptrends within the intraday charts, the 1 hour, the 15, the 1 hour, the 4-hour. Okay, the 15 has started an uptrend. Is it holding? Now the 1 hour is. Now the 4-hour is. And then hopefully that leads to the daily, the weekly, right? So you have to start somewhere. So it is sometimes good to go in from the smaller charts and work your way up to see if an uptrend holds. So again, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Hey, as far as that goes, I wasn't going to give any Bitcoin away, but I will today for you guys. Since there's only a handful of you, you have a better chance to win. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. See what happens when you arrive on these live streams. Okay. Anyway, which is pretty cool. I appreciate you guys. So where were we at? Uptrend. It's in a downtrend, but we're starting an uptrend on the lower time frames. Okay. So 112, 113, nothing's changed. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but why I do this is because you're going to hear so much garbage out there from so many people about I said alt season today. Some guy said it's right around the corner. It's not right around the corner. But I'm so bullish on a euphoric uptrend bull market in Q4. It's just not right around the corner yet. So don't tell people that, because Bitcoin can't even break into its prior range. It's weak. And if Bitcoin's weak, alts are weak right now. So again, be encouraged, but don't be loopy and think that, all of a sudden, because we're going to cut rates here in September, that things are going to go crazy. Now, back to that, 99%, what's going to happen? 99% now. Probability right here. 99% rate cuts. 99.4 probability. Okay, we went from 90, 80, 70, back up, and then we're back to 99 now after the job data came out. So over the past couple of days, more job data came out that wasn't great. It wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't good either. So because of that, again, there is more probability for a rate cut in 2 weeks. And because of that, I do believe that you're seeing some price action happen in the stock market. Where's the stock market? There it is. Oh, look, this white line here. That was previous all-time highs, and it's basically at its all-time high again. Okay, so this is the S&P 500. I'm pretty sure the NASDAQ is up there. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm not sitting here looking through all these. So yeah, let's see the futures. I want to see what the futures say. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, with tech, it's still kind of going sideways. With the SPX, all-time high. Okay, so with that, why are stocks pumping? And if you're looking at the that's the daily. If you go to the 1 hour, right, I mean, it's just an uptrend all day. And so this is what I want you guys to know is look at this chart. Can you see this chart right here? This says the Bitcoin Pearson correlation. And so what this does is, if you look at here in the middle here, there's the NASDAQ, there's the S&P 500. Okay, NASDAQ, again, is more tech heavy, S&P 500, and then gold. And so you have here to this left, where my cursor's at, there's a 1, meaning that there is a 1-to-1 correlation. If the stock market moves 5% up, SPX, then so does Bitcoin, right? It's a 1-to-1 correlation. There's a 0 correlation where what we're seeing right now, and there's a negative correlation. So if the stock market pumps 5%, Bitcoin's dropping by percentage points, okay? So what we have here right now is in the NASDAQ is 0.01, which is basically 0. In the stock market, the S&P 500, 0.1 negative. 0. Okay, there's 0 correlation right now with the stock market and Bitcoin. And so when people ask what is going on, that's because there's no correlation at the moment when it comes to the stock market and Bitcoin. So the stock market can pump, and Bitcoin can do what Bitcoin's doing right now, going sideways and chopping. And you have to understand the seasonality of Bitcoin. Why is this happening, right? Because people are like, why is Bitcoin pulling back? Well, there's a few different reasons. One thing, just natural seasonality, and there's been in liquid markets, and there's just been, after a massive run like that, you tend to have a little distribution, sometimes more accumulation up here, but basically it's sideways, okay? And so with that, there's still a lot of uncertainty with the Fed rate cuts. Again, just because it's 99% doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily be an immediate bullish catalyst, okay? And so you have to be aware that there's some caution with that. All right. So a lot of times too, and I don't have the chart with me, I showed yesterday, is that when there's Fed rate cuts, usually within the first month, the markets tend to pull back. Okay. So there's a bit of the shock, because what happens when there's rate cuts is, again, people can borrow more money to buy risk assets, which is good. But you have to understand that markets tend to move on speculation. And so we had an uptrend, because even before, you can't say that the narrative of rate cuts was driving some of this, right? So over the course of time, you do have that. And people knew that the Fed would eventually pivot. And so, the shock is kind of out of the system right now. It's 100% expected. And so you're seeing the stock market at new highs, but at the same time, the stock market isn't booming. If I go to the daily chart, okay, a nice little bounce here, but it's still even with its previous. So it's a slow uptrend for the markets. So let's see tomorrow. Tomorrow is the non-farm payroll on Friday. If you're watching this on Friday, you're going to know that the new job data has come out, and that's going to be even bigger. So we'll see what it says, and based on that, there may be even some more volatility with Bitcoin and crypto as we go into the weekend. And then next week, we're going to have all the inflation data, and then the week after that, we have FOMC. So a lot can change in the next 2 weeks. This can pump more, it can pull back more. So, but as far as the correlation, no correlation. Currently, a low time frame, a daily and 4-hour downtrend, and that still has not broken until 112, 113. If this can break 113, I would expect to see 116, 117. Okay, I don't have anything exciting to tell you, because I don't think, besides you may have some opportunity, life-changing money, buy the dip opportunities in the next month. That's pretty cool, potentially. But there's no retest of all-time highs right now. There's just not. It's Bitcoin's been weak. It's not even, it can't pump with the stock market. So with that said, okay? So, excuse me. I'll shut up about that. Thank you. Tomorrow I might change my mind. ETF inflows, negative today. We're not done yet. Of course, you've got more data to come. Positive the last couple of days, positive for that. But, even though it's positive, the price is not really doing much. And that's okay. It's not really a big deal. Okay. I really wouldn't, honestly, a lot of times too, this is overlooked. People automatically think if there's some inflows that the market's supposed to pump, not necessarily. Top is not in. I won't even go over this chart right now. It's not even really appropriate. I just have this up always, but top's not in. We're far from the top. I think a lot of people have a lot of different ideas, from 150 to 250 to even higher. I like this quantile model. 220 is probably a great spot for a high. We're nowhere near that. Bitcoin seasonality. Let's go down to September, right? Right now, we're actually 1% up in September. It's only been a few days after a bad August. Now, the last couple of years, we had a negative August followed by a good September. But again, fundamentally, things are different, okay? Just because of the change in as far as the posture of the Federal Reserve. And overall, I think that my personal opinion, depending on things, it doesn't really matter. I do think that there is opportunity for a big pullback still. Not big as in 103, 105, whatever. But the problem I have too is really that, as far as altcoins go, nothing can seem to break 100 million market cap. So like one of the strongest narratives that we've had in a while is out right now, and it's the card collector things. Do you guys collect Pokemon cards or anything like that? Like, I'm frozen. Well, I guess. Sorry, guys. There we go. you're not going to see me anymore for the rest of the the live stream. Collector cards, but this has been super strong. This can't even break 100 million. And so, I say that because it seems like there's no narratives that really can break when it comes to altcoins right now. There really haven't been any memes to break and hold 100 million. I think one of the last one, it was like Troll. And so, that broke. And so that was, I don't even know when that was, but it's dumped quite a bit. Yeah, that was in early August. It broke above 100 million, but there really has not been very many for you, quote, on-chain traders, whether you trade meme coins, AI, cards, or anything with crypto. If you trade on-chain, which this is where you can make your most money on a lot of these trades. But bottom line, like, really, there's nothing frothy about this market. People rotate so fast from altcoins, from one thing to the next. Like last week, we were talking about, like, I don't even know what it was. Was it like football cards or something like that? I don't even know. But point being is, like, we were talking about football and people were in that, and then now that's already forgotten, and now we're getting into collector cards, which is totally fine. If I go back to that, because this one's doing pretty well overall, the cards. But then, I don't know how long this has. I don't know if this will even do good, but it is a narrative that's popular right now. And the reason I bring it up, two different reasons, is I'm trying to tell you that hardly anything can break 100 million market cap. It shows that we're in a weak market in alts. Personally, I'm not in a lot of alts right now. I'm just not, because I don't want to lose money on any type of Bitcoin pullback because they're weak, okay? So understand that alts are weak, and that's a big on-chain reason, less on-chain traders than ever. There's just Pump Fun has turned this place into a clown show. It just has. I'm all about memes, but, 50,000 memes a day is a little crazy. But if you guys are looking for airdrops, okay? If you're looking for an airdrop, one thing, if you're into cards, I've noticed that this is one right now called Fidgetals instead of physicals, but basically digital and physical together. And so you can pay to open packs, okay? You can pay to open packs here, and you end up opening packs and you get cards, which are real world assets. They're not just digital. From my knowledge, they're basically cards that are physical in stock, and you just see that card digitally online. And so you get it, okay? You can open up a pack. Like this person opened up a pack. You can open up packs between $1, $25, $50, $100, $250, and $500, okay? And then you can get up cards up to $15,000, $20,000. I've opened up about 20 packs myself. And the highest pack that I've opened was like $250 worth. And I'm about break even. I think I'm down a few $100. But at the same time, I think I've spent $7,000, okay? I've spent $7,000. And I'm just a few $100 down. But what I'm doing for this is that apparently, like what this guy FOMO says, is that, he likes this UI, and he said that it's got a point system, and I've noticed that. And so basically when you open up packs and you get points, again, you have to pay for them, you get points for it. And so very likely that there's an airdrop for that. So if you're into farming airdrops, or if you're into collector cards, the one project that I would probably do would be this one, which is Fidgetals. You can check it out. In the end, I can't promise anything as far as an airdrop, but I'm just saying, if you're looking for one, this is one right here. Okay? So a lot of guys ask me about that. Where do you find airdrops at? This is one of them. Okay, as far as that goes, I've talked about Bitcoin looking weak. Altcoins looking weak. Currently, here's an airdrop for you. There's no correlation between Bitcoin in the stock market right now and 99% of Fed rate cuts. Okay, so that's all that we've talked about. Now, a couple more things really quick. Ethereum, weak. cannot break above 4,500. Okay, if it cannot break above this area, it's not going to impress me. And even if it can break above here, you need to break above here, above 46.50, 47, for it to then retest all-time highs or the highs before. Okay, so you just take it level by level. Now the good news, at least, is that the last couple of months here, it's actually held above. Since early July, it's held above this 4-hour 200 moving average. It's still holding above it, which is a good sign, okay? But there's always possibility for a short breakdown like you saw here, okay? So just understand that will happen, and that's definitely a big sign that the market is on a short-term downtrend if that does happen. But right now, want to see ETH break above this. Doesn't look too hot right now. It's the 4-hour chart. That's where I'm sitting at. And two, with that, Bitcoin looks like it could even start outperforming it again. So this is ETH BTC. It's been holding this 10 daily moving average, okay, for the last couple of months. It looks like it's about to break it. Here's a red candle on the daily. So what I'm trying to say is that if the market does pull back, expect Bitcoin dominance to go up and expect ETH BTC to go down. Okay, and it's a possibility that's the first time that breaks down since early July, which has been over 2 months. But real possibility, okay? So probably bounces here at this orange line at 0.35, but just understand that we could get more of a pullback there. So Bitcoin and the dollar likely will show more strength in that situation. As far as anything else goes, Solana, want to see it hold before 196 and 198. If it can hold there, good. If not, it's going to break back down. Likely pops by 180s. Okay. But let's not get into that yet. I'll be on live streams prior to any of these type of breakdowns. Somebody's asking for World Liberty Finance. All right. So World Liberty. Let's go to the spot chart on Bybit. Okay. So a lot of drama with World Liberty. If you don't know about World Liberty, Trump family is connected with this. What they were saying was that Justin Sun was actually pushing the price down, okay? His address, if you see right here, was blacklisted from transferring $9 million of World Liberty Finance tokens. And so a lot of people are saying, a lot of drama with this right now, right? A lot of people talking about this because what World Liberty said was that, they blacklisted it because he was basically selling and through exchanges. And I just don't know about their deal. Of course, Justin Sun gets on here now, and Mr. Forbes himself, right? He actually said that no buying or selling was involved, so he couldn't have possibly had an impact on it. So he's pushing back. So as always, there's drama in crypto, right? Because it's always good stuff. But with that said, ever since that they said that, which again, if you think about decentralization, to blacklist a buyer or investor in a coin because they're selling, it seems to be a bad thing, right? It's kind of bearish on my end. But since that news has happened, price has bounced from 16 up to around 19 here, okay? And so I'll be honest with you, World Liberty Finance needed to bounce anyway because you had this big drop. This is the 30-minute chart. You had this big drop here, right? And so you had basically price structure holding pretty well right there, and then price breaks below, and then now it's just kind of grinding up. Let me look at the 1-hour chart. Yeah, so see, like, again, something called mean reversion, right? Whenever price pumps or dumps to extreme, which this is pretty extreme, from 21 down to 16 in a matter of, less than a day, hours, pretty extreme for a new coin to drop that much, and you're going to have a bounce. And you may even have a retest up here. So, for me, typically, I want to see it kind of regain up in this area. typically, not only like do I want it to, not only do I want it to see the price regain this 20 level. I think breaking above 20 itself is pretty good, but typically I want to see it make, start to get back and make these higher highs. Okay, so I think first target's going to be 20, 0.20, or actually 0.21. And then break up from there. But it's very likely, if that's the case, if sell pressure has stopped, then it's a good chance that this will continue to bounce, okay? You see this quite often in new coins. They initially come out, they pump hard, then they just kind of slow bleed or they dump, and then you see some accumulation or a V-bottom, and it just kind of pumps again. So, honestly, if this pulls back a little bit, let me get rid of all these lines. I got so many lines in here. But if this can hold, okay, 18 cents here. If this comes back and tests this area, probably maybe a good buy right here. And just a small buy to see if it can kind of continue to work its way up. So, yeah, I think World Liberty is not a bad buy here. It's a much better buy than buying up here. 25 cents. People have bought almost 30 cents, got wrecked. They're down almost 50%. So this is a pretty good buy. If, in my personal opinion, if it can hold this level, it's a pretty good buy. Okay, so any other questions? Any charts you guys want me to look at? So, yeah, man, it's just, Justin Sun's kind of a funny guy. If you weren't around for 2017-18, like he copied a white paper. Nobody even uses Tron, by the way. I'll be honest with you, like nobody uses it. He basically creates all the volume himself on there. So a lot of people like myself like to call it a ghost chain, but yet it's worth billions of dollars. It's really funny. It's really funny. So, what are my thoughts on Solana in September? Well, you have the digital asset treasury. You've got that. That hasn't been too frothy yet. You've seen Solana, going back to the Solana chart, you've seen Solana be one of the stronger assets. But right now on the lower time frames, let's go ahead and just look at this again. Weekly chart looks good. It's in a weekly uptrend, but a lot can happen because this is the thing, is that with Solana, I don't want to look at, let's go to, yeah, I mean, it's been outperforming Bitcoin as well. But I think when it comes down to it, if you see prices drop, Solana's going to drop. I think Solana is one of the strongest assets in the market right now when it comes to crypto, and it's shown that it's kept this uptrend. It was able to break, right? It's been able to keep these higher lows, right? It's keeping those. So it's in a clear uptrend, even though this isn't super clear on the 4-hour. But the whole point is that you've got higher lows. I just want to see it hold between 196 and 198. If it can hold there, on the 4-hour intraday chart, then it's good. If not, it can break down to as low as, it can break down to as low as down here to 180. Okay, but overall, do I think that Solana is going to be one of the strongest coins post FOMC, regardless of rate cuts? And if we do have a pullback, that Solana will, again, hold stronger and do better than a lot of altcoins? I do. So when it comes to altcoins and majors, I want to be in Solana, if that answers your question. Okay? So I do. I certainly do. Yeah, and so hopefully that answered that question. And so hopefully that answered, I know you guys asked about World Liberty. Yeah, I mean, if you got it on day one, I mean, honestly, if you were in pre-sale for World Liberty, you're in profit, and you should take profits and your initial out always, and then secure those and then ride free. But the thing about the Trump family and that group of people is they've got some heavy shield power, and they're able to really push up price. I do believe that World Liberty will go back up in value. I just do. You just can't deny the power that they have. And so especially if they can twist this narrative like on Justin Sun and other people and be like, he's the reason it's down. And then if price starts to trend up, they're going to look like good guys and people are going to want to buy in. So again, like I said, 18 cents, if it can hold that, it's probably a good buy from what I see. And I think the first kind of big retest is 21. And then from there can go up. But again, regardless of, World Liberty or not, like really what matters is even though that there's no correlation with the stock market, this is typically that no correlation when the stock market goes up. The problem is that the stock market nukes, Bitcoin still dumps. Have you guys noticed that? Is that regardless that even though the stock market pumps, Bitcoin goes sideways, but if it nukes, Bitcoin dumps with it. And that's the problem with the correlation. Yeah, and right now the 4-hour looks pretty good. But again, guys, it's got to break above here. Like, I want to see it continue to break this range here of 112 to 113. Right now, to me, it's just sideways. So that's why I could take the day off today and hang out with my wife on her birthday and be like, I'm not really worried about the market because it's not doing anything, even though the stocks are pumping. So right now, even though the daily looks better, it's got a better wick to it. I'm not really expecting anything. I could be wrong. I mean, tomorrow we could wake up, but it could be up here, right? I'm just telling you at the moment. That's why you take it level by level. That's why it's important to draw these out because, again, until it can prove itself, there's not really any reason to buy because it's in a downtrend. So, hey, Shadeless. Shadeless is a great guy, by the way. One of my favorite people. Thanks for being here. So I think, bottom line, when it comes to this, the market, we're still in this sideways chop, guys, and we're not going to really know what's going to go on until we see how the market reacts to job data tomorrow, then inflation data the next week, and then you have FOMC. So you have kind of a big line of events coming up the next couple of weeks. And so it's really hard to say really definite like bullish or bearish outcomes because you can't, because again, what if for some reason like job data comes back okay tomorrow and then the market dumps on that, but then inflation's down and then it pumps on that. I just think that you got to expect a lot of volatility the next couple of weeks, and you can expect some fake outs. So again, my key area to buy is I've talked about this 105 to 103 area, but it doesn't mean that it stays down there long. It could just wick down there. It could wick below. And that's my initial area to buy if it does break down there. But if the market proves itself and it comes up here and it breaks 116, 117, then I'm going to probably buy back in up here. Okay? So right now we're just sideways chop. And I think it's important to continue to have these live streams and it's continue to have these talks because it keeps your head sane. Because if you go on Twitter, you see these crazy people talking about how things are just going to pump like crazy like soon. And it's not true. There's just nothing logical with that. So, any other questions? I'll probably cut it off here shortly. 34 minutes. It's been a long time. I wasn't gonna be on here that long. So if you guys want to drop, if you want to drop a comment below, and so this is how we'll do it this time. So you have less than 1 hour, okay? You have less than 1 hour to drop a comment, okay? And maybe I can type that out if you can't see this. You have less than 1 hour to drop a comment in the comments after the video is done, okay? So, and what's going to happen is you don't have to put your Bitcoin address, but I'm going to pick a random winner. And then after that, like, because if you try to drop your Bitcoin address immediately, it won't show up. I still see it on the back end. But so after this video, we're about to be done. I'm going to give you 1 hour. And those who leave a comment, I'm also taking a screenshot of everybody who's in here. So if somebody drops a comment who is not in here, they're not going to win. Okay. So I got a screenshot of you guys. So just know that. So this is a Bitcoin giveaway, $100. If you were not here, then you're not going to be able to be a part of that. So again, I know everybody who's here. I'm about to end the video in a minute. You have less than 1 hour to drop a comment. You can say anything you want. But with that said, one winner for $100 in Bitcoin, okay? So just know that. I've seen you guys. And I'm going to have another video tomorrow. But this was just a live stream. And hopefully this helps. So 99% chance that we'll have a Federal Reserve rate cut here in a couple of weeks, which tends to be pretty good overall. Initially downside of the market. There's no correlation. Stocks are at all-time highs. That could change at any time. A lot of volatility coming in the next week. Hopefully, I'll figure out that my camera no longer freezes on these live streams. I got to figure it out. So apologize about that, guys, that you can't see me. Yeah, and then welcome the rest of you guys who just got here. So just knowing that. I got you. I screenshotted it. I know everybody who's here. So everybody in here you're for the running for the $100 Bitcoin. And so with that said, ETH looking a little weaker than Bitcoin right now, but a lot of things ahead, okay? And lastly, if you guys want any type of airdrop, again, you got to spend your own money on these things, but like Fidgetals right now, like these guys are likely to have an airdrop. I don't know how much, if it would even be worth it or not. But again, people are always asking me, where do you find airdrops? What do you think are going to be airdrops? Airdrops are in basically you use the product. You typically had to spend a little money on it. And then in the end, they'll reward people by, of course, airdropping tokens or claiming tokens. Again, that's speculation. We don't know that. But, this is a billion-dollar industry with the card companies. And so maybe this is a good one, right? But I always just want to share that with you guys so that you guys know some options when it comes down to that. So that's it. Guys, thanks for being here. It ended up showing up a lot of people, so I always appreciate you. 50 views, man. I love you guys. And we'll keep these live streams going, these Bitcoin giveaways going. And then you guys are going to be ahead of the market because when we dip, if we dip, by the way, but if we dip, just know that we'll be ready to have these buy opportunities, long opportunities, so that we're not fearful when other people are, and that the targets that we'll be targeting as far as price levels for Bitcoin. If it goes down, Ethereum, Solana, we'll look at all that when that happens, okay? So we'll keep these live streams going. You guys, as always, thank you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. Trade safe,